Hello, and thank you for watching the Snarky in the Suburbs podcast. Oh, we're going to have some fun today. We've got a jam-packed. Is it a show? Yeah, let's call it a show. Okay, first I picked your Snarky letter. And it's another letter about women my age that have lost their minds or are not using their brain at all. Just saying, I'm going to take a pass on using my brain. Yikes, yikes. Then in my peeve, y'all, my peeve is just let me be old. Stop with all this young stuff. I don't want it. I don't want it. Then my observation, it's a short one, and it's where's the wool? It's about clothing. It will be short. I know people that aren't into clothing. Just stay with me and you'll be like, oh, I get it now. I get it. She was so right. My confession, it is about marital shenanigans. Who doesn't like that? Oh, it's good. It's super juicy. Okay, let's go straight to the letter since we have so much to do today. Brace yourself for stupidity and really unkindness. Okay, let's get into it. Dear Snarky, my sister and I are heartbroken, shocked, and confused by something our mom told us, and honestly, I don't know how to process it. Yesterday, my mom, my sister, and I went out for lunch and some shopping while we were eating at Panera. My mom, who's been married for 35 years, told us that she's having an affair, was in love for the very first time in her life, and that she just thought we should know. But we were not supposed to tell our dad because he doesn't know anything. To say my sister and I were shocked would be a huge understatement. I thought that I was going to vomit, and my sister started crying. It was not good. My mom seemed not to notice, and just went on blabbing about being in love for the first time and how amazing it is. I did ask her why she told us this, and she said she did it because she was so happy and it felt so different that she didn't want her girls to wonder, what's going on with mom? My little sister asked if she planned to divorce my dad, and my mom said she didn't know yet. That's why she doesn't want us to tell our dad. Both my sister and I have talked this over with each other, and we feel guilty for keeping the secret from my dad, but we also both feel really weird about telling my dad that our mom is cheating on him. At this point, we don't know what to do, and we're both really upset and mad at our mom and are doing our best to avoid her because we can't believe she's cheating on our dad. What do you think our next step should be? Because this is tormenting us. Signed, shocked, and sad at 30. Oh my God. Dear shocked and sad. I'm shocked and sad with you. Let's break it down. Okay, coming in at number one, this is in no particular order. Panera? Your mom tells you life-altering, life-changing news at Panera while you're eating the 2-for-1 or the salad and a half sandwich and the soup? Okay, or eating a big chicken salad sandwich and you're taking a bite and your mom says, oh, guess what? I'm having an affair and I've never been in love before in my entire life. Come on! No one tells bad news at a freaking Panera, okay? That really struck me. Number two, I don't care how old you and your sister are. You said you're 30. You don't tell your adult children marital business like that, okay? I don't care if you've got a kid that's 3 or 30. Anything that happens between husband and wife, you do not share with your children, especially stuff of the bedroom variety. Your parents could be 80 and you could be 60. You don't want to hear it, okay? I don't care how old you are. You don't want to hear it. So she crossed a line there big time. That is her marital business with your dad and does not need to be shared with the children, especially does not need to be shared with the children and the dad doesn't know. And for her to tell you this and say, FYI, don't tell your dad. It is life-altering news, and I say this because she said she's never been in love before, and you're thinking, my mom never loved my dad? I mean, that upsets the whole childhood apple cart there, memories and everything else. It's horrible. What she did was unkind, and just horrible. Just horrible and so disrespectful to your dad. Yes, to cheat on him is the height of disrespect, but then to tell his daughters and not tell him? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So there's all that. My advice is you're staying out of it because I have a theory. This theory might be wrong, but I think your mother told you and your sister and told you not to tell your dad because she wants you to tell your dad. She wants her husband to know, but she doesn't want to be the one to tell him. So she knows by telling the daughters, very loyal daughters that would be very upset by this and feel badly that their dad is being cheated on and doesn't know it, might be inclined to tell the dad. That's one theory I have. So you're going to keep yourself out of your parents' marital business. You're going to distance yourself from your mom, and it sounds like you already have, and you're not going to tell your dad. That's for your mom. That is news for your mom to tell her husband, not news for a daughter to tell a dad. And if I'm wrong on this, people, let me know in the comments that you disagree. Just let me know. But that is my feeling, to absolutely stay out of it. Do not do your mom's dirty work for her. Make your mom do it. Now, why she hasn't told your dad yet, another reason could be that she wants to see how this whole affair thing plays out, and your dad is like, he's back up now. She's holding your dad in the reserve. Doesn't work out, she's still got your dad. It's horrible. It is just so horrible. And again, I still can't get over the Panera. Can't do it. The worst. Another thing you need to do, I don't know how old your mom is, but if she's been married for 30-something years, I don't know, she's in her 50s. It may be a little early for this, but if this is behavior that is so off, like your mom she's not selfish, doesn't have any narcissistic tendencies, just so weird, then maybe you need to think about, is my mom actually okay? Does she have like early stage dementia or Alzheimer's? I hate to say that, but as you age, you have to think about the behavior that is so odd and never before seen. Those questions have to be asked. So you have to ask yourself those questions and do your due diligence on that. If you're like, no, she's always been kind of like me. This is, I could see her doing this. Well, then that's another conversation. But you always have to check on that. So yeah, it's terrible. But honestly, you and your sister stay out of it. You don't need to get involved. You don't need to be the ones that break the news to your dad. And I would tell your mom, if she's like, why don't you girls want to see me? Or we haven't seen each other. Just go, Mom, no. What you're doing, I don't approve of. And I don't want to be any part of it. And I'm sure not going to tell Dad. So, right now it's best if I keep my distance. You 100% in your rights to tell your mom that. And I don't know, maybe the fact that your daughters don't want to see her may make her re-examine what she's doing, but I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine cheating on my husband, okay? But I sure can't imagine telling my kids. And let's talk about this marital thing, like things that stay in a marital relationship. Has my husband said to my kids, your mom's in a mood? Yes, many, many times. Have I said to my kids, your dad's in a bad mood today? Yeah, that's different, okay? You're giving your child a head up. Do not poke the bear. Okay, that's what you're doing. But telling personal stuff, bedroom stuff to your children, absolutely disgusting. And you know what? I don't like to use the word unforgivable, but what your mom did may be borderline unforgivable. I mean, you can still love your mom. Of course you love your mom, but you can be like, Mom, I cannot forgive you for that. Love you, but I cannot forgive you. That's just all kinds of wrong. All kinds of wrong. For the love of God, if you're going to tell your kids something like that, at least do it in the privacy of a car. Panera. I bet those girls can never go into Panera again. They'll get PTSD walking into Panera because they'll think about the horrible thing their mom was doing to their beloved father. So, yikes. Just yikes. Keep us posted because we want to know how this plays out. And once again, if you disagree with my advice, if you're like, those two daughters should tell their dad immediately, tell me why you're saying that. I want to know. I could be wrong. Once again, my monthly announcement. I'm not a therapist. I'm your friend who you've told stuff to, and I'm like, what? And then giving advice based on that. But y'all, can you believe that? Can you believe that? Just get a divorce. Yet I know many women my age don't want to get a divorce, and I'll tell you why. You get a divorce, your money's cut in half. Retirement's cut in half. You have your expenses, he has his expenses. You will not be living the same life that you live together. For a lot of people, that's hard to think about. So I'm just going to stay married and fool around. But, God, fooling around, can we talk about that? Just the effort, the energy, the extra leg shaving you'd have to do, the sneaking around. It sounds god-awful. Just god-awful. The grooming alone makes me go, no, hard pass. All right, keep us posted. It's It's absolutely horrible, and you have every right to be shocked and saddened. But my advice, stay out of it. Stay out of it. Okay, let's move on to my peeve. Y'all, my peeve is my face. We cannot get old anymore. I'm all for people doing whatever they want to their bodies. But, when women used to get facelifts, and by that I mean 2 years ago, most of them didn't look that great. I mean, they were either pulled too tight or something was off, and you could be okay with your face that was original to owner that you had never done anything to. Same with the filler and the Botox. Oh, it's too much filler, it's too much Botox, and then you would sit with that and go, well, I've never done anything to my face, and you'd feel good about that. I mean, I may look old, but I don't look like a mannequin. That kind of stuff. Okay, now we cannot do that anymore because facelifts now, like these celebrity facelifts, the faces look like they have been touched by the hands of God. They are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Look at Kris Jenner. She's 69? The woman has never looked better at 69. Absolutely amazing. And Anne Hathaway, what is she, 40? And Emma Stone, I don't think she's 40. Getting this work done? Amazing. Amazing. Lindsay Lohan, who says her beauty ritual for looking like that is dunking her face in ice cold water every morning. Please, girl, please. Yeah, she's had some work done. What is she, 30? I don't know. 40? It's boggling the mind. And I can't imagine, could I get a facelift like that? Sure, if I wanted to go to Beverly Hills in New York and dip into $300,000 in my retirement account, you think I can go to my husband? I need us to take $300,000 out of our retirement account because Mama wants to look snatched. No, that's never going to happen. Can't afford that. But these facelifts are now coming in, the hands of God facelifts at $300,000. I have researched it. The facelifts include multiple combined procedures, a deep plane facelift, a neck lift, eyelid surgery, I guess it's called eyelid bleph or something like that, a brow lift, and this is your complete facial rejuvenation. I think the younger people get a lower neck lift because they don't need the whole deep plane. By that I mean, these 30-year-olds that are getting it. Yeah, it's crazy. They're very expensive because elite surgeons are doing it, and it says they're often using advanced proprietary techniques to achieve seamless and natural-looking results. They sure are. It's crazy. Now, I was told that I needed a deep plane facelift. I've told you guys this story, right? Did I? Okay, quickly. If you've heard it before, just stay with me. Hold on, I need a Diet Coke sip. So I was at the dermatologist getting my 6-month skin cancer check because I had a melanoma, 7 years ago, so I have to go every 6 months. I'm glad to do it. And I said, I've never thought about getting Botox, but now I'm thinking about it. She goes, oh, the med spa's just a floor lower. And she goes, go talk to them. I'll call. They had time. Go. They put me in a chair. Y'all, my self-esteem has never been, it's like they took a club, like a huge caveman club, and just beat me over the head. My self-confidence just beat up. It was terrible. They told me that I needed a deep plane facelift. I mean, all of this stuff. My face was just the hottest mess. Botox couldn't help. Filler, which I never want. It's just no, honey, you need a deep plane facelift. And they're touching you, and they're pulling, and they're doing all this stuff. It was horrible. Horrible. I got out of that chair on wobbly legs, and walked out of there. I'm surprised I made it to my car without collapsing on the floor and crying. It's I look like, what am I, the Hunchback of Notre Dame or something? I mean, it was horrible. So I get in the car and I call my daughter because my husband didn't think he'd understand. So I call my daughter. I'm like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. This is what they told me. And she's like, well, don't ask him, Mom, if you don't want him to tell you. It's their business to tell you are horrible looking so they can make money off of you. She's like, basically, they were doing their job. And I'm like, this is not the loving, response I wanted. And she goes, well, sorry. And I'm like, you should be. Then I call my husband. And he was like, oh, that's ridiculous. Because, there's money attached to that. Oh, that's stupid. You're perfect. Because he doesn't want me to spend a freaking dime. So, it doesn't count. It's your husband. Then I even called my son. I don't know what I was expecting from my son. Yeah, I don't know. And he's like, well, why did you even go do that? I go, because sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, I need help. I go, I have that 10 times lighted magnifying mirror. And he's like, well, just quit looking in it and then you'll feel fine. Yeah, so basically my family struck out. Husband was fine, but, said what is expected of a spouse to say, who especially does not want his wife getting into the plastic surgery game. So, yeah, it was terrible. Basically, in the car, I was almost like in the fetal position, calling my loved ones and not getting the response I wanted. Right then and there, I wished, and I wish this every day, of course, that my mother was still alive. Because if I had called my mom, she would have ripped that place a new one. She lives in Texas. I'm in the Midwest. I wouldn't be surprised if she told my dad to book a flight. We're going. She's got business to take care of. I mean, she would have been all over it. But no one to console me. But anyways, that's enough about me. So yeah, so I was told I needed that deep plane facelift. And then I looked up what it is. Let's briefly go over it, shall we? Okay. Incisions are made around the hairline, around the ears. The muscles and connective tissue are dissected and lifted from their underlying attachments. Snip, snip. The tissues are then repositioned vertically, elevating the cheeks, jowls, and neck. God, y'all. I have some jowls on me, thank you. Excess skin is removed and the incisions are closed. What this does is reduce sagging skin and jowls. Damn, those jowls. Elevates the cheeks and improves facial contours, tightens the neck and jawline, provides long-lasting results, and minimizes scarring due to incisions being placed in inconspicuous areas. So, I guess in the better the plastic surgeon you have, because you'd want to have the best. You only got one face. The better you look. I mean, these women look amazing. And it just, I think, puts so much pressure on the rest of us to keep on looking amazing. Like, when can we just look like crap, okay? And you may be thinking, girl, you're on your way. You wouldn't be wrong. I mean, when can we just stop and be old and just enjoy being old? Sit and being old. I'm old. That means I don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff. That's my gift of being old. But no, we're still supposed to look good. Like really good. Come on. It's not fair. It's not fair. Like my grandmother always looked great. I mean, she wore stilettos. She had fantastic taste, but then there was, other relatives in the family that were as old as my grandma, but they they wore their moo-moos. They got their gray hair cut short and just permed it, that little old lady perm, and they were happy. They lived out their golden years, not worrying about that. Think of all the free time you have when you no longer give two craps about how you look. Think about that. Okay? I mean, that should be the gift of aging. That pressure's gone. Nope. First, there is Spanx that we got to shove ourselves into. And by that, I mean all shapewear. No hate to Spanx, but I do have some hate for Spanx. And then there was the Botox, and then there was the filler, and now there's all the hair stuff, the hair extensions. Like, we're never not going to be, we're just... to the grave, as a woman, we're going to have pressure on us to look young, to look our best, for people to think we're 20 years younger. And to that I say, no. You're robbing us of our golden years of just looking however we want. Sure, do I want whiskers? I don't want that, okay? But we should be able to be clean and whisker free, and we're good. In a cute outfit, we're good. We don't need to look like we're 20 and 30 years younger. Also, here's something I didn't know. That you've only got 3 facelifts in you. Like, most people shouldn't get more than 2 facelifts during a lifetime. 3's pushing it. Based on genetics, you can do 5. Oh my God, Kris Jenner, I think she's already hit 5. That woman has had a lot of work done and, more power to her, okay? She's got the money. She wants to spend it. I mean, what's $300,000 to Kris Jenner? You know what? That's like me going to the grocery store and spending 30. So, whatever. But, so as these young women, in their 30s, get these big facelifts, are we going to finally even out, when they're 60 and they can't have any more facelifts? Or will technology have advanced where you can get a facelift a week if you want? I don't know. All I know is that I thought once I reached a certain age, the pressure from society to remain youthful would disappear. Apparently that's not the case. And I'm mad about it. I'm peeved and I'm mad about it. And then I asked myself, if I had a bunch of money, would I get a facelift? I would always say no, but now I'm like, hell, maybe I would. I don't know. Of course, I don't even like to have my blood pressure taken. It makes me nervous because I'm very hypochondriacal. So I would imagine myself passing away on the table due to my vanity, which stops me from doing something like that. I think even if I had the money. But I don't know. But that's me. We can't get old, women. We can't. We can't. Pressure's on. Pressure's on. You know? I'm going to be 75 and still worried about, like, you know, is that going to be me? Okay? Because there'll be new wrinkle cream. There'll be new this. There'll be new that. I just want to age and not made to feel guilty about looking old. So there you go. There you go. That rant is over. Another Diet Coke. I feel deeply about this. Okay, we're moving on. This is a small observation so we can get on to the scandalous confession. Yeah, so I'm shopping for fun, you know, just looking for, like, you know, new fall winter clothes. Nothing is made of wool. I'm looking at little cute blazers, little short blazers that are $200, $250. No wool. I took notes. Like, one blazer I looked at that was $250 was 95% polyester, 2% viscose, 2% estane, whatever, elastic crap, and 1% metallic. You're selling me a jacket, a winter jacket, that's not wool. There's not an ounce of wool in it, but you want to charge me upwards of $250? Come on. And this other jacket I looked at, also a little more than $250, 71% polyester, 24% rayon, and a mere 5% wool. It's a world gone crazy. And sweaters, have you guys looked at sweaters? Like, last year I really started noticing this. It was faux wool. No wool. No wool in the sweater. It's just like, so you're buying basically a polyester sweater. It's just like, it doesn't look like it, but you want a wool sweater because you know what wool does? It wears and wears and wears and wears and wears. You buy a wool sweater, you're going to have it like 20 years from now, okay? I mean, this other stuff, no. But what gets me about this other stuff is it's so expensive. It's as expensive as wool. I'm mad. I'm mad. Am I going to say anything to anybody at the store? No. Like, you think the salesperson is responsible for what's purchased at the store? No. I mean, I'm just going to, like, not spend the money and, you know, see what happens. But y'all know, I even called my daughter and gave her a talking to. I go, do not spend this if there's not wool in it. I go, sweaters, whatever. She goes, Mom, I live in Southern California. I'm not buying a lot of wool. I'm like, well, that's an accurate point. But yeah, it's just like, y'all check the labels because you're getting ripped off. I don't like it. So I'm mad about that. Like, what happened to wool? Are the sheep on strike? Bah. Come on. I don't understand it. And let's not be stupid. Let's read the labels and go, no, I'm not spending that much for that jacket or coat or sweater because there's absolutely no wool in it. Let's band together and do this. We're joining hands and making a vow. Yeah, that peeved me. That peeved me a lot. Okay, now we're going to go to my snarky confession from the Snarky Confessional. Y'all, this is wild. Oh, it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. This happened when I was very young, like back in the day when I had young children. And my snarky confession is swingers. Swingers. Okay, so this woman, we were friends, but not good friends, you know. We'd sit next to each other at a PTA meeting, gossip, whatever, but, you know, friends. So we like to complain about the same things, which is the basis of any good friendship. Enjoying complaining about the same things. That's the basis of a good friendship. Okay, so she comes up to me and she's like, I need a favor. And I'm like, okay, what kind of favor? Thinking, does she pick up her kid from school, watch her kids? She's got something going on, whatever, I'm in. And I go, yeah, what? And she's like, I think there's a swingers group in town. And I was like, I'm in, say no more. Swingers, I'm in. I go, yeah, so what's going on? And she's like, well, she was divorced and her ex-husband's remarried. So she was still she still wasn't over her ex. But, you know, what are you going to do? So I go, what's going on? And she's like, so I think my ex-husband is a swinger. And I'm like, okay. I go, but why do you care? And she's like, I just care. And I'm like, I'm going to need more than that. And she's like, I think he's a swinger. And I found out that when he has the kids, like on like Wednesdays or Thursdays or whatever, he's not, they're a babysitter's with them and he's with his swinging group. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, and I'm going to, if he's not going to be with the kids, she goes, I want my kids. I don't want to like give him to a babysitter. I'm like, okay, all right. There you go. I go, what do you want to do? She goes, she goes, it's by your house. She goes, it's like 2 blocks over. And I want you to do some reconnaissance. And I'm like, yes, I'll do reconnaissance. So she showed me the house. She goes, I can't do it because, they know me. And, I just can't. But she goes, I just see what's going on over there, So I said, sure. So we, at that time, had an elderly dog. And as you know, older dogs, you got to walk them more to use their bladder. So during the evening, I would walk by that house. And she told me, when they were meeting. And I would walk by the house, but I would notice everyone that was walking into the house had a Bible in their hands. I was just like, oh my God, it's a Bible study. So I tell her, I go, and this is before everyone had cell phones. I was using a landline, people. And it was in Texas. So I tell her, I go, it's a Bible study. They all have like Bibles in their hands. And let me tell you, being in Texas, it's full of Baptists. Everyone's always going to a Bible study. I mean, you go to church Sunday morning, Sunday night, you got your Wednesday night church, and there's a Bible study thrown in there. I mean, everyone's going to Bible studies, except me, because I wasn't Baptist. So my kids, the Wednesday night church, what's that? Mom, why do kids go to church on Wednesday night? Because they weren't going. So, and I just like, it's a Bible study. She's like, no, just please stay on it. So I would like check. And I mean, it was just a freaking Bible study. So, but I knew the woman whose house it was at. Kids at the same school. My daughter wasn't even in school yet, but my son was in elementary school. And so I asked her, I go, went up to her, I go, hey, I go, I'm not nosy or anything, really. And I go, but I noticed, are you guys having a Bible study at your house? Like every Thursday night? And I go, because I always see walking my dog, like people with Bibles and stuff. And it sounds like you got a, pretty decent crowd there. I go, are you letting people into your Bible study? Yeah, I go, can I go? And she's like, no, I'm sorry, you can't. And I'm like, oh, really? I go, I can't go to a Bible study? And then she goes, well, you have to be recommended. And I go, like a sorority? And she's like, well, not like that, but you just have to be recommended. I go, well, couldn't you recommend me? And she's like, well, it's a larger group that makes those decisions. And I'm like, okay. I go, I've never been told before that I couldn't go to a Bible study. I go, but that's fine. I go, I just wanted to ask because it looked good. It looked like, it looked good. And people looked really devout, always with their Bibles. So there was that. So then I told my friend, I go, yeah, well, I asked her if I could go to the Bible study, and she said no. I go, which in itself is not suspicious because I am not Baptist. So, maybe they, it's like a Baptist Bible study. Get out of here, you freaking Methodist. So, I go, that's not suspicious. And she goes, oh, it's suspicious to me. I go, well, my spidey senses were kind of still tingling. So I kind of just walk the dog, I'm just keeping an eye on it every Thursday night. So nothing's going on. It's about a month. Nothing's going on. 6 weeks. I'm just like, oh, this is not a swingers group. So then I asked another woman who also goes to school with my son. Like I would see her up at the elementary school. And I also asked about the Bible study. And she goes, oh, I heard you were asking. She goes, that's, kind of like I heard you were asking, like awkward. And I go, yeah, they told me I couldn't be in it. I go, quite frankly, my feelings are still a little hurt over that. And then she leans in really close to me and I thought, oh, this is what she's telling me. It's swingers. No, she leans in and goes, we're starting a new church and we don't want people to know. So we're Bible studying, but we are starting a new church. Now, y'all, I bought this hook, line, and sinker. And let me tell you why. In Texas, new churches pop up everywhere. Do y'all remember the linens and things? It was like with Bed Bath & Beyond. It was linens and things in Bed Bath & Beyond. And Bed Bath & Beyond, now bankrupt, like beat out linens and things. That circled the drain years ago. But whenever like a linens and things or the Kmart would go under, a new church would pop up. I mean, There were so many ministers. You couldn't pick up a rock and not hit somebody that was a minister. Like, I think that the new church that popped up at our local Linens and things, this was years ago, of course, the guy was like the service manager at the Toyota dealership, decided he had a calling from the Lord and, minister. These people did not have degrees in theology or anything else. I think they were self-ordained, but, God spoke to them to preach, and so all of a sudden they're ministers with a church and half of a Linens and things. So anyways, someone telling me they're starting a new church and they're keeping it hush-hush, yeah, they probably are. Plus, they keep it hush-hush because they're going to draw people from the church they're currently at, and you kind of don't want the church to know that you're going to be pulling people from it while you're still going to that church to recruit people for your church. It's all very complicated, but it's Texas. So anyways, so I tell her, they're starting a new church. I go, I'm done embarrassing myself. Thank you. And so, I'm thinking that's the end of it. Then I was like a whole county over. And in Texas, those counties are big, and there are a lot of counties. Fun story. So when we lived in Nevada, my son had a test of all the counties. Had to know all the counties in Nevada. There's like 3. Okay, well, there's more than that, but there's not that many. And the teacher looks at me, and I go, they have to know the counties? And she said, well, didn't you have to know that in Texas? I go, no, because there's like 300 counties in Texas. The kids don't have to know the counties, for God's sakes. I go, what a stupid thing to memorize. But that's another story for another time. So I was a whole county over, and I was at a Target. I see my friend's ex-husband, not with his new wife, but with another woman that I would see going into the Bible study new church meetings, and they were very hands-on over in, the linen section. They were like, God, so much stuff happens in a linen department. I just had a story last week that happened in the linens at Macy's. So, over by the shower curtains, very cozy. So I go over and say something because I know he knows me. And I go, oh my gosh. I go, are you guys shopping for your new church? Just let him know that I know that there's a new church, maybe, or it's a big fat cover-up. And he's like, oh, yeah. And the woman was the church secretary at the church they're still going to. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I said to her, I go, wait, you're starting a new church, but you're a church secretary at the church you're going to now? And I go, and they don't know it? I go, oh my gosh, that's intrigue. So, tell my friend, don't have a cell phone. It was early 2000s, people. So, I tell my friend, I go, yeah, well, I saw your ex-husband. He was with the church secretary, and that's like, he's either cheating on his wife or he's swinging with her. I don't know, but both? I don't know what's going on. So she loved getting that information. She's like, oh, that totally makes sense, blah, blah, blah. And but that's not how swinging works. I think there's like multiple people. You just don't swing with one person because that's called an affair, which is different. But I don't know the ins and outs of that. What do I know? I'm just walking my elderly dog with bladder issues. So they keep on, meeting up. Things keep on happening at that house. Then come to find out, 3 months later, that house, it can't be busted because they're swinging. It's not against the law. But it comes out because my friend amended her divorce things or whatever, that she was getting the kids because the husband was swinging on the one night a week he got the kids. So he got kids like every Thursday night and then every other weekend. On his Thursday night, the kids with babysitter. So her lawyer was saying, just stop that. The kids should just stay with the mom. They shouldn't be babysitter because their husband's a swinger. Then my friend just let everyone know that. Oh, they're swinging. They're swinging at that house. Gossip. It all came out. There was never a Bible study. There was never starting a new church. It was just swingers under the guise of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That was their swinging cover. Juicy as hell. I did not really unearth it. I just looked and then shared information. Oh, but let me tell you something. When I went up to that mom that told me I couldn't be in the Bible study, I went up to her and I said, honestly, I'd have more respect for you if you just told me we're doing something you're not interested in, instead of telling me that I wasn't good enough to be in your Bible study. And so she goes, and just went, and then walked away, sauntered away. But yeah, it was something. It gossip. It was juicy. It was fantastic. People gossip. And I had to keep my part of the story to myself. I didn't want people to know that I was in the midst of an investigation. Thank you very much. I don't know. I could never prove it. but I did enough to get that swingers ring broken up. Oh, and then under the guise of starting a new church, these people were going on Bible retreats and swinging. So yeah, it's fabulous. And before that, I didn't really believe in swingers. I thought it was just something you saw in the movies. Like, people didn't do that. It sounds ick. No, thank you. No, thank you. Well, apparently they do. So anyways, and if you're wondering, what did your husband think about this? So, what is your husband doing? I never left the house at 9 o'clock to take the dog for, his bedtime walk and go, I'm going to be a minute because I'm going to walk by the house down the street around the corner because I think there's swinging going on. I didn't tell him anything like that. And I'm going to tell you why. I've been married for 41 years. One of the main reasons I've stayed married is I don't tell my husband stuff. I don't tell him stuff that he doesn't need to know, that does not need to be in his brain. He doesn't need to know the minutia of my life. He doesn't need to know that. And he would have just gone, I swear to God, if I told him, he'd be like, what? I go, yeah, I think there's a swinger house. I'm investigating it for my friend Becky. And he would have been like, okay, Gracie, do it. Because, he knows. Even by that time, he had given up on trying to stop me from being crazy. And, good for him. He knew there was nothing he could do about it. The crazy was there and the crazy had to come out. And as long as I used my crazy for good, how could he complain? How could he complain? Anyways, that's my story. That's my confession. Y'all, real quick, I want to talk about, it's now the Fall Book Club. If you liked this confession, you've got to get 4 Seasons of Snarky. It is such a good book. It's short stories, but I've got a story. It's called The Case of the Diaper Dumper. This is another time I thought I was a detective, people. But this time I was. I detected good stuff. And there's other stories in there like this. The swinging story did not make the book. Maybe the next one. But short stories about suburban tyranny, me being nosy. You'll love it. Read the show link, and then it's going to take you to, just click a link. It takes you to Amazon where all my books are, paperback, ebook, audiobook, and check out 4 Seasons of Snarky. You're going to love it. And also, and shame on you if you think this. I'm waving my shaming finger. If you're like, I'm not going to buy one of her books because this chick can't write. I mean, come on. Everyone thinks they can write. Y'all, I can. And it's good stuff. So please go check it out. And thank you for everyone that's bought my books. Thank you for everyone that's watching and that follows me on Instagram, YouTube, browse. Oh yeah, TikTok. How can I forget about my baby TikTok? And if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Even if you're not watching and you want to leave comments, go to YouTube, leave comments, but still like and subscribe because that helps me. If you like and subscribe, it's more fun for me. So anyways, go do that. And thank you. You guys have a good day because you're fabulous. You're fabulous. And you're worthy of having a fantastic day. So everyone, bye-bye. See you soon.